Well, good afternoon, SLAE family. It is Tuesday, and today's going to be fun. We have a wonderful guest today, and she is a queen of fashion. As a matter of fact, she is a global stylist who helps people with their imaging, branding, etc. And I'm so excited to have her here. So today, help me welcome Keisha Rodriguez, and she's tuning in from Trinidad and Tobago. So we are going global right now. So Keisha, thank you so much for being here.
You're welcome. Thank you. I feel so honored to be on this live with you and just share a bit about what I do.
Oh, I'm so thrilled. Now, before we dive into what you do, I found it wild, the transition you made, because you had a background in banking of all things. And most people
Yes.
don't think banking and fashion icon at the same time. So can you tell everyone how that evolved for you and how you ended up having this great company?
Sure. So honestly, I think like I literally was born to style. I tell everyone that because I grew up in my grandfather's upholstery shop here in Trinidad and Tobago. And I remembered him giving me the opportunity to select different types of fabrics for couches and sofas and different furniture. And then my mom, she would sew some of the items in the workshop, and she would always be making things for herself and the house. And her sisters will do the same. And if you know about Trinidad and Tobago, we love to party. So every weekend there was some events going on, and my mom and her sisters, they will be getting dressed for that. And I distinctly remember them involving me, right? So they will be going through different fashion magazines and they'll ask Keisha, do you prefer this or do you prefer that? Or do you like this pair of shoes or do you prefer that pair of shoes? And I think unknowingly to them, and of course myself, they were cultivating this stylist in me,
Yeah.
right? So as I transitioned through life, due to my body shape, everyone was like always telling me to model. And I was like, no, I don't want to model. And I remembered saying, oh my gosh, I don't want to model, but I would love to dress the models. And I
Ah.
didn't know exactly what that meant. So I went along, I did the common thing, right? I got my degree in banking and finance. I had a career in banking, and honestly, I just was not feeling fulfilled. I was like really unhappy sometimes. So I decided to switch from banking to retail, and everyone thought I was crazy. But being in the retail space, which I really loved, allowed me then to start exploring fashion and style and the arts and the creative industry again. So moving along, I developed this brand, Fashion Mode, that I have today, whereby I would style different brand ambassadors for certain companies and other brands within the country. I would also work along with different photographers. And then I did a program through Parsons University in New York, and it was there that I realized, oh my gosh, there's something called personal styling, where I can now help individuals because I was ready to exit now the retail space. And I thought, you know what, the next step really has to be ultimately fulfilling for me, because I think the next step needs to be where I'm at. Like, that's it. I don't want to switch careers again.
We'll call
So,
this an evolution, not a switch, because you are staying in the fashion lane, just moving over
yeah.
to another lane in the same highway.
That's true. That's true. So you're right. So I found out that there's personal styling. I did a few courses and so forth, dedicated myself in different areas. And what personal styling also helps me to do is really serve others in a way that is transformational. And that in return brings me the joy and fulfillment that I think I was looking for in my career. So yeah, that's how the transition happened.
Excellent. And now you do styling for both men and women, correct?
I do. I
Okay.
do.
And what would be a typical scenario where somebody would come to you for help?
Wow. So I would use the word typical loosely because I actually have a wide range of scenarios. But I would say the most common scenario that you usually would pop up is an entrepreneur who is looking to take their business to the next level and develop a personal style and personal brand around
Mm.
themselves. So, for example, I have one of my clients who's an author, and I've been working with him before he wrote his first book. All
Ah,
right. So when he was trying to figure out how is he going to present himself, he came to me. And even up to recently, he was saying, "Oh my gosh, Keisha, like you don't understand like how you changed my life. Like I actually
oh.
understand myself and how I want to look." Yeah, so I would say definitely working with entrepreneurs who are transitioning.
Sure. So it could be somebody who wants imaging for a business card or a website or even their social media too.
Correct, correct. And I think like during the pandemic, there was such like more understanding of why presenting yourself well was important because now we have to come on to so many Zoom calls and different
Yes, we
online
do.
platforms, and everyone is like, "Oh my God, I don't know what to do." And it's interesting because I was working with people who are custom doing speaking engagements in person, right?
Mhm.
So I always found it interesting, like, why do we get so timid when we come online? And it occurred to me that when you get onto a Zoom call or an online space, your audience actually has less to focus on because they just focus on the screen, which means they're more focused on you in comparison if you're in a big space with hundreds of people or whatever the case may be, and there are other things around the room to distract the eye
Yes,
of the audience. So it is a little more intimidating.
that makes sense. There'd be people, attendees, the person next to you, whether it's warm or cold. There's 100 distractions if you're in a live event.
Correct. Correct.
So now, when you help people, you not only help them with their imaging and their clothing, and all that, you even arrange photographers and you do it around the world, if I understand correctly. Can you tell everybody how the heck you do all that?
I do, I do. So I operate as a virtual personal stylist. And what I do and with any service that I offer is we start with a consultation. So we figure out, well, am I actually best fit for you? Are you the best fit for me? And we work that out. And I try to figure out exactly what the needs are. And if I'm working with someone who's overseas that wants to do a photo shoot,
Mhm.
what I start by doing is breaking down what's the goal for the shoots. Because I think there's usually a gap when it comes to like personal branding, especially. We want to get pretty pictures. We see inspiration from all of the things around us, and we want to look like that. But then, is it a right fit for yourself and your
Yes.
business? So, or your brand, right? So we figure out exactly what that imagery is supposed to look like and what is the placement of that imagery. So, like you mentioned before, Leanne, is it going on a website? Is it going on business cards and everything? Once that is done, then I start the coordination aspect of it, where I will bring in a photographer. I will bring in sometimes I might need to find an assistant stylist
Hmm.
in the location of the person that the person is at to help them get dressed on the day. And beforehand, I also curate the wardrobe. I give you a visual of what your shoot is actually going to look like. So you know what type of poses we're going to be doing, where
Wow.
you're going to be shooting, the entire layout. What are you wearing? What the hair is going to look like? What does your makeup? What are your nails looking like? All of the accessories. We figure out all of those details because I really want my clients on the day to just enjoy the experience.
Sure.
I don't want my client thinking about, oh my gosh, like what's the next step? Oh, we didn't think about this because as far as I'm concerned, that's my job. So all the work has to happen beforehand. And just coordinating everything. It works out.
You're coordinating photographers, makeup artists, clothing, hairstyles, and everywhere. I know you do a lot of work here in the United States, right?
I do. I do.
Excellent.
Yes.
Okay, so my next question should be, where have you been all my life? But that's probably not the best question to ask you for everybody else's purposes. So instead, let me ask something that'll benefit everybody. So if you, we do have obviously a very high female audience that watches this. We have men as well. Don't want to leave them out. But if you were going to give some advice to a woman, what are 3 garments or wardrobe staples that you think every professional woman should have?
Okay, that's a good question. So definitely a crisp white shirt. And when I say crisp, I mean like that shirt must look like it is pressed straight out of the dry cleaners, crisp. Okay. And it's one of those pieces as well that I always tell my clients, like, don't be afraid to invest in a good white shirt because it has to be a good quality. You don't want a white shirt, especially, to be see-through or the buttons look tacky and stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
Because of course, again, those little details send messages about yourself, right? Because interestingly, your potential customer, your potential client or partner, when you don't pay attention to details like that, you're actually sending a message to them that, hey, I'm not that serious about stuff, right?
Wow.
So pay attention to things like that. So a crisp white shirt, I'll definitely say a nice, clean, sleek black blazer because it's something that's great. It's a versatile piece in your closet where you can use it as a layer over a t-shirt and jeans. You can use it with any color. It's versatile. And the next thing will be a great pair of trousers, right? Or if you're a woman who don't wear pants, a great pair, a great pencil skirt, right?
Yes.
Because sometimes we just kind of forget the bottoms, but the bottoms are important, right? So those will be my top 3.
And they're all great because they're classic. Like, you never have to worry about, is a white crisp shirt going to be in style or out of style? I mean, all 3 of those pieces are good for always, I would assume.
Exactly.
And then tell me, what has been one of the most fun or fulfilling experiences? Can you share one of your stories with us?
Oh, wow. Whew. I have so many. And I'll try not to
Anyone,
cry.
it's all good.
I think one of them happened pretty recently where I worked with a client who was not very trusting of the process, right? I was working with her really for her branding shoots. And she did admit to me that she might need some of more of like my consultancy services beforehand, but she really wanted to focus on her shoots. So we started the shoots, and I mean, I must say she's very organized. So she literally came to me, sorry, with an idea of how her mood board should look. And these were the different categories of shots that she would like to get, etc. But whilst I was talking to her, I of course was like, I think we need to tweak some things, right? And she was like, I don't know. So I was like, yeah, we need to tweak some stuff. So we made the tweaks, and then we were going through a process where she kept saying that she was petite. And in that moment, I realized that she didn't quite understand what petite meant. So I did have to educate on that. So a lot of times when we say we're petite, we think that we're just small or slim or tiny, right? Like myself, I am actually not petite. So petite is like 5'4" and under, right? In terms of height. So you can be a small, medium, large, extra large, petite person, right? So I educated her on that, and she's like, oh my gosh, I didn't realize that's what it meant, etc. So I was like, yeah, that's why when you go online to shop, you're not getting it close to fit you right. Good. Then we came to the shopping aspect of things, and she pitched to me what she wanted to wear. And I felt so bad because I was like, no, this is not going to work. It's not going to work. So I was like, let's do this instead. And we were back and forth at it. And so ultimately, she's based in Trinidad and Tobago, right? So I told her, here's what. I am going to give you a complimentary shopping trip, and I want you to come with me and you're going to do try-ons. So I called up like the boutiques that I work with and stuff, and I took her to one in particular. And we started, by we, as in the boutique owner, myself, my intern, we started just trying on a whole heap of different things. And I started showing her, like, you can pair this with that. And I really pushed out of her comfort zone. And interestingly, the things that she thought would look good on her, because visually she found it look nice on, persons on social media and stuff. It didn't look, when she tried it on, she's like, no, this will not look good on me. And I'm like, that's what I was saying. Right?
That's why I hire you then, right? Exactly.
Yes. So I pushed her out of her comfort zone and made her try a lot of different other things, and more the things that I felt like would suit her brand and her style. And she was like, oh my gosh, this is making a difference. She literally started to cry because she was explaining to me it was so hard for her to like work through the changes that was happening with her body, and she felt like she had to cover it up, right? And oh my gosh, I think everybody was crying by that point. But she went along, and beyond that day, she's like, I'm giving you full control. Whatever you tell me to do, I'm going to stop doing anything anymore. And I ended up doing her actual show. I tuned in and, I did my things behind the scene via the phone. And she was like, oh my gosh, I cannot believe this. When her pictures came out, it was like a totally different person. I couldn't believe it. She was so great. And she's like, now I feel like I can actually launch my business. I was not feeling like a business person before.
Yeah.
And that's the sort of things that I love to hear.
It's amazing. I mean, I got a sneak peek. I got to look at some of your work, and the pictures you do are incredible, and a lot of diverse, different people, different careers, men, women, and they're all amazing. Honestly, when we made the little flyer just to promote you coming in here, your own picture of yourself was fabulous. I was like, okay, I'm sold. So Keisha, if somebody, first of all, thank you again for being here. If somebody wants to reach out to you, there's a few things I think we should do.
Thank you very much.
No problem. So if somebody wants to reach out to you, there are two ways people watch this. They either watch this on Facebook or they watch it on YouTube. And I know that you've joined the Facebook group, so they can post some comments or questions below if they would like to ask anything. That's okay with you? Oops,
absolutely.
Okay, I thought we lost you there. Okay. And then the same on YouTube. We invite you, if you're watching this, give it a thumbs up, because it'll make Keisha pop up and more people will learn. And write a little comment. The more you thumbs up and like these videos, the more it helps our guests. So that's very helpful. But they can leave a question or comment there for you as well, correct? Okay, I think that
correct.
Trinidad and Tobago, we have a little delay going on right now.
Absolutely.
And
then you can also feel free to follow me on Instagram if you like.
Yes, that was we have a little sudden delay. I'm not sure why, Keisha, but they can go to your website and follow you on Instagram, etc. And if we can get your connection, do you want to share what that is? If not, I will. Okay. Her Instagram and her website and everything, it's Fashion Mode TT.
Like sure. Oh,
there we go.
Yeah, so my Instagram is Fashion Mode.
So she is Fashion Mode TT, like Trinidad, and I can speak Jamaica. So if you can go ahead, it's Fashion Mode TT on Instagram, and that is her website as well. And we'll post it. I apologize. She's so fabulous, but I think the distance, and she's got a little bit of, she said she's in the rainy, stormy season there. So they've got a little bit of a storm probably going on, and her internet's a little delayed. Hopefully, Keisha, can you hear me as I say thank you? Okay, I think we lost her, but she's fabulous. Hopefully you were able to pick some great tips out of this.
I can hear you.
There she is.
You. Thank you so much.
Thank you for being here, and be sure to follow her. She's very fun to watch online, and check out her website. And if you are up for a shoot, or you're an author, or you're a real estate agent, or you're building a website, she does incredible work. So now, no matter where you're located, whether you're watching this from the United States or Europe, wherever, she can do this all around the world. So Keisha, thank you again so much. I'm sorry we're going out on a breakup note, but it's been a pleasure to have you here. And we will see you all live next week.
You're welcome. Thank you so much, Leanne.
Oh, my pleasure. And last thing, the contest for the giveaway we were having ends tomorrow. So if you did not do that, please go ahead and go over to our YouTube channel and comment on 3 different videos. The instructions are all in a previous post, but you can go ahead and do that. If you leave comments on 3 videos, we're going to give away some books from some of the authors that have been guests here. And that will end tomorrow. And I will then the next day post who our lucky winners are. So thank you, Keisha. You guys have a great day, and we'll see you next week. Take care.